All right, now we're going to talk about creating a print style sheet. And this article here talks about what print style sheets are. And essentially, we're talking about when you print pages directly from the browser, it's what they look like. So, with most things, if you go and print, you're going to get everything that's on the page. So on this page, for example, there's ads down both sides of the page. And if you had a video or something that would play, then the video placeholder would print. So a print style sheet is kind of like a recipe for printing a web page. What you are going to do is insert, just like you would insert a normal style sheet, but you're going to insert it with a media equals print line. And there's actually two ways. You can do it this way, or you can do it in an embedded way on your CSS page. Let's do it this way first, though. So you're going to link it just up here, just like by your other style sheets. So I could just do it here. So link, and then media equals print. It's a relationship style sheet still. And href equals, and then it will be called print.css. Now I've already made mine, so it shows up in here. You'll want to make one, so let me go through the process to do that. Just file new and CSS page and create. And then you are going to want to immediately turn around and save that. I'm working on my cat page, which is BS2. And so it would be right in here, print.css. And then in this print.css, you'll make changes to things that are in the normal page. For example, I wouldn't probably want to do this, but let's say I wanted all the images to just disappear. Then I could say img display none. And that should make it so that the pictures won't display if you go to print it. So let me refresh my page. And then in Google Chrome to print, you click here. It's usually dots. Mine has a update thing right now. And print. And then notice that we lose all of the pictures that were embedded on the page. Now, notice that the carousel didn't, because the carousel brings up the pictures in a special way, but everything else is gone. So there's like all those other little pictures of cats that are on the page. But this carousel is still hanging out because it's kind of in there a different way. But these three guys are now gone. So you have to really think about what is it that you want to get rid of. In my case, actually, I'm okay with the images being there, but I really don't need that slideshow, to be honest. So let's go take a look as to how we would deal with that. Looking in here, first off, a navigation bar. That's something that you wouldn't want to see when you print. Although I don't think we actually saw ours anyway. But to be on the safe side, we'll say we don't want to print the nav. Go through and determine other things that you wouldn't want to print. So for instance, we have the div with the carousel. So I want to just completely hide that div. So same story, I'm just going to put on a different line, div carousel, display none. Can't type today, so that's good. Okay, let's go ahead and just save those and refresh our page and see if it gets it. I always worry a little bit because the print.css may or may not refresh when we do these, so sometimes it doesn't get a good reboot, if you will. All right, there, good. So our navigation is missing and our slideshow, our carousel rather, is missing. But these three little guys are still there. Our video is there too, and we have no need for a video. So we should probably go ahead and get rid of that. And again, different ways to do it. You could get rid of the video itself. It wouldn't get rid of the heading above the video, but it would get rid of the video by itself. The video was inserted as an iframe. So if you wanted to leave this little heading that says video time, you could just say don't display the iframes. Or we could give this row like another class, like the video, let's say, as another name in here. And then in my print CSS, I can say the div with the video class in here is going to be set to display none. And you could do other things too, like it's not always a matter of everything being displayed to none. You could change the font size on the page. You could even change, like for instance, again, this is kind of a goofy thing to do, but like images are normally inline. So we could say, let's say we want the images to be in block instead, so that they are all on separate lines. You know, I mean, you can kind of do just about anything. So let's go ahead and we'll save all here and run back to see, oops, wrong one. When we refresh on this, if we can get it to refresh completely, if this will make a difference. We'll go to print. There we go. Now each of these are on their own line, and notice the video is completely gone, and so is the words. So are the words that were above the video. And this now is a one-page printout. And we don't really have any content on this particular document, but if you're doing yours, you may have additional content on your page. But that's essentially the gist of creating a print style sheet. Now the other way is, instead of linking to a print CSS, is to create a section. I'm going to copy this and just move it so you can see how it works. Is, instead of making a whole separate page, going into the CSS that's already connected, so our page that we already have, coming down to the bottom, and I already have this pasted in here, but I'll paste it in again, and then putting in this media print. And then basically everything that's on that other CSS page would just go here. So I would just take all of these tags here. I'll cut them so that the print CSS doesn't work anymore. And then you just paste them all in there. So that's where it goes, quite simply. And then of course we're going to save all and take another look at it to make sure that it looks exactly like it did before, which hopefully it does. But that's generally the gist of it. It's just a matter of deciding what you do and don't want to print. And there we go. And see, it's stuck in there. So all is well. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it, but you do want to be aware that both ways are possible. This way, of course, it keeps all your CSS in one place and you don't have to worry about separating it. Some people prefer to have theirs in a separate document just because it's easier to manage if it's completely separate. So there you go. I hope you understand now why you would create a print version of your CSS.